sing along. I know there's more to you than meets the eye. You can no longer keep the secret inside. I know you're scared of what they'll say, but it's you that needs to show the way. This is your time. Let your spirit shine. This is your time to let your heart on fire. Come out of the shadows and stand in the light. This is your time. This is your time. Sometimes the road is rough and you get lost. And just be brave no matter what the cost. You have a gift to share with all the world. Come on and stand up and show them what your word. This is your time to let your spirit shine. This is your time to set your heart on fire. Come out of the shadows and stand in the light. This is your time. This is your time. Right. Take a step and claim this life is yours. Go to the edge and spread your wings and soar. This is your time. To let your spirit shine. This is your time to set your heart on fire. Come out of the shadows and stand in the light. This is your time. This is your time. This is your time. This is your time.
Good morning. Thank you, Donna. That was wonderful. I want to just start out by saying I'm so grateful to be here. I found this church on the Sunday after we moved here, and so it's been my spiritual community ever since. Before we get into the service, I'd like to say a few words about our meditation, because some of the folks that are here may not understand why we do the meditation and the reasons behind it. Sometimes, and this is really important, the part of it that is the silence, sometimes to some people feels like it's an hour long. I promise you it isn't. It might be anywhere from about a minute to about 2 minutes, but it's not an hour long. Going into the silence keeps us true to the roots of unity. It's an integral part of unity. It was the main focus with our founders, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore. And I'd like to just read what the silence is in the Revealing Word, which is our metaphysical dictionary. A state of consciousness entered into for the purpose of putting man in touch with divine mind so that the soul may listen to the still small voice. When one goes into the silence, they enter the secret place of the Most High, the closet of prayer within. They pray to God, Spirit, commune with God's Spirit, and meditate on truth. And then you listen to what is said. So when we're at home, we would use a longer meditation, and we'd have a longer connection to Spirit. And for some of you, that's good. Some of you, that's still difficult. But answers will normally come after the silence, either today, tomorrow, or somewhere in the future. I want to tell you a quick story about Charles Fillmore. His granddaughter was Rosemary Ray, and she used to talk about when she would bring friends into the house and her grandfather would be sitting there with his eyes closed. And they would say, "Is he asleep? Why are his eyes closed?" And she said, "Doesn't your grandfather go into the silence?" And they all said no. And she realized this was something different for them. And then the other thing I want to show you is, I don't have a joke today, but what I do have is our textbook that we learned to meditate with. And then the name of the textbook shocked me, but I've grown to love this textbook, and I would recommend it highly. So if you need to learn how to meditate, Meditation for Dummies. Not what I expected from Unity, but that's what came up. So let's get started. I want to read our daily word. Today it goes perfectly with the talk. Let go, let God. And the affirmation is, I bless myself when I let go and let God. If I find myself ruminating over a concern or a weighty decision, I release its grip on my attention by letting go and letting God. When I let go, I place my trust in divine mind, the source of infinite potential. I believe there are solutions and remedies of which my limited human mind just simply can't conceive. When I let God, I am trusting the grace of God will bless my life in the most wondrous and even surprising ways. Letting go and letting God is how I live my faith. I surrender to spiritual truth, the presence and power of God, and believe the best outcome is going to be so much better than anything I could ever imagine. I affirm, I let go and let God, and relax into knowing I am deeply loved and abundantly blessed. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. John 14:1.
Words I say come back to me. You can sing that part. I choose my words carefully. My every notion puts energy in motion. With my thoughts I build my life anew, anew, anew life. As I speak, my words are power. My every notion puts energy in motion. My life opens up like a flower. My every notion puts energy in motion. Words and thoughts are seeds that grow, and this is why I know. My every notion puts energy in motion. My every notion puts energy in motion. My every notion puts energy in motion. What you say is what you get. What you say is what you get. A lifetime guaranteed, you bet. That what you say is what you get. energy in motion. My every notion puts energy in motion. My every notion puts energy in motion.
Oh, it's on. Good. Okay, there's a couple announcements, not too many today. The first one is, oops, let me find the paper, is how do I become a community member of Unity Spiritual Center? On Sunday, August 14th, there will be an orientation for anybody who is interested in becoming a member or were just kind of thinking about it, would like to know more about it. It will be Sunday, August 14th, and it'll be scheduled after the service in the sanctuary. The next one is The Shack. The movie, The Shack, will be presented Friday, August 19th from 6 to 9:30. There'll also, which I did not know until I read the paper this morning, there is a 50-50 drawing besides The Shack, the movie. And it'll be a full-length movie followed by question and answer discussion in the sanctuary. Please bring your own bottle or own drink, but please make sure it's covered because we do not want it spilled on the rug. And of course, you bring your own snacks. And let me see, number 3, Sacred Service Saturday, August 27th. August seems to be very busy. August 27th from 9 to noon. I believe it's a Saturday, of course, Saturday. And the presenters will be Mary, Holly, and Gus. And the facilitator will be Reverend Mo. All are welcome, whether you are current, past, or future, or curious about volunteering. The object is to form a cohesive, concise, and well-oiled Sunday worship experience for the new person and also for the regular attendees. Come and enjoy fellowship, learning, and also the big thing is there's pizza at 11:30 for everybody. I'm in for pizza, especially this New York pizza. Okay, and also please, go over the ongoing events. I believe there is a poster outside, and also it's online with all the events that goes on all during the weeks. They are very, very important to all of us. Okay, let me see. Then also, there is the prayer box script. Finally, there is a prayer box in the back of the room on the shelf. You will find paper, slips, and pens for your request. After the service today, the prayer slips will be picked up by the chaplain of the day, who is George Neal, and the chaplains will pray over the prayer slips, and then they are sent to Unity for an additional 30 days of prayer. Unity believes in the power of affirmative prayer. When completing the prayer slip, we invite you to affirm what you want more in your life rather than focusing on the issue. For an example, if you're not feeling well, you want to feel better. So you might affirm perfect healing and health for your body. When we feel overwhelmed with too much to do, we might affirm clarity or seeing things in a new light. What we give our attention to is what grows, so we might as well affirm what we do want with less emphasis on the problem or the situation. There's an opportunity to leave a prayer There is an opportunity to have a prayer chaplain pray with anyone who would like to after the service. The available chaplains will be up front wearing purple stoles.
Take just a few moments to go within. Take some time to settle into your chair and place your feet solidly on the floor, feeling the flooring underneath you, the concrete underneath that, the earth underneath that, the solidness and the strength of that foundation. As we settle in, I invite you to close your eyes, place your hands on your lap, palm up, open and receptive to connecting with the divinity within, opening your heart to what is to come. We take a deep breath and we let it out. We take another deep breath and let it out. Our breathing becomes more at ease, more relaxed, and we start to relax from our head down through our body. We can wiggle our head just a little bit, relaxing our eyes, our mouth, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, legs, knees, ankles, feet. And when we've gone through all of that, we can come back to our heart and focus there. Our heart is beating steadily. It knows exactly what to do. All our cells are working steadily, ongoing, and we see that all is in divine order in our body. At this moment, we surrender. We let go and let Spirit work, opening ourselves to the source of the infinite. Our thoughts and ideas get out of the way, and we're living our faith, our truth, surrendering to spiritual truth, the power and presence of the oneness of us all. We are able to remember we are loved, we are blessed, and to be that expression of love and blessing in the world. Love is all there is. When we release our fears or worries and remember there are answers we do not know, then the answers will come. When we have a wide open heart, a receptive mind, a generous spirit, we stay in the moment and we listen, and we just hear what we need to hear. We move into this time of quiet, remembering that if random thoughts cross our mind, we return to silencing our body. After the meditation, we will listen, trusting our intuition, and we will know what to do. Let us move into the silence. I invite you to come back to this time and this place. You might want to wiggle around a little bit to sense your presence in this spiritual community, knowing the truth that we are all one with all of humanity in this space at this time.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone that goes astray, someone will come to show the way. Oh, I believe, I believe, I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer can still be heard. I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why. I believe.
Thank you. I think we're okay. Hey, except threw me off, sorry. And don't get scared with all these papers. There's this thing of needing big words these days. Oh. Today we're talking about truth with a capital T and truth with a little t, and the way that truth with the little t shows up in our humanness. We as humans are not as smooth, as logical, and as concrete as spiritual law, because we've got emotions that drive our ideas, our thoughts, and our actions. Truth with a capital T is the truth of the centuries. It never changes. It's spiritual truth. Truth with a lowercase t is the truth for each of us in our lives, our unique way of having a code that we live by, and trying to do that as well as we can without letting our emotions just take over. As seekers, we might think we are in alignment with God and Spirit. Few humans, alive or dead, have seemed to come even close to that alignment due to how our emotions play into our thoughts and our actions around our beliefs. There are three qualities I believe we must have in order to understand without a doubt the steadfast truth that we have within that is a part of us all. First and foremost, we must have faith. We must also have awareness, and we must have acceptance to be able to see the bigger truth. So let's look at faith, awareness, and acceptance, and also at the spiritual tools we use daily. The first is faith. The definition of faith from the Daily Word. The perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. Spiritual assurance, the power to do the seemingly impossible. It's a magnetic power that draws unto us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. It's a deep inner knowing that that which is sought is already ours for the taking. To have faith in God is to have faith of God. Faith is more than mere belief. It is the substance of that which is believed. It works by love. Faith is more than mere belief. It does work by love. When faith is utilized in deep spiritual consciousness, faith cooperates with divine law, and seemingly miracles can happen. Faith is the highest form of belief. As we become more in alignment with the truth of the capital T, the truth of the I am, of the center, of our center, then we build our faith. We have faith that there's only one power, and it is God, or Spirit, whatever your name for that entity of the oneness of us all is. We have faith in the oneness of everything that is. When we have solid faith built on spiritual consciousness, nothing can sway or change our belief. Our foundation is rock solid. Nothing in our outer circumstances can change our faith because we know our faith comes from within, from that Christ consciousness. We have the faith of knowing each of us speaks the truth of our being as we bring our individuality into the world. We speak at Unity about powers or faculties that we might have. The actual faculty of power helps us to rein in our emotions and our feelings. We either control our emotions or we get controlled by them. And sometimes the first thing we need to do is just to feel what we are feeling and just sit with it. The definition of emotions is a natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. If you look on the internet to see a basic list of emotions, you'll see the same ones no matter where you look. You'll see joy, surprise, curiosity. However, I was really surprised that I saw a lot more what we would label negative emotions than positive ones, such as anger, fear, guilt, and shame. Things will scare us. There's a big difference between faith and fear. Faith is built on love, not fear. There are those that say there's only love or fear, and everything else is just a variation. We can lose the stability of our faith by looking at life through some of these emotions that we call negative. We can't deny or bypass the strength of them, but we can sit with them, examine why they're coming up, and possibly see them from a different perspective. Sometimes we see others and we might label them emotional. They appear to be really affected by circumstances surrounding them. At times, our emotions can arise by traumatic or life-changing events, such as the birth of a baby, the death of a loved one. At other times, we laugh, we cry, or tears come to our eyes through some sweet or heart-wrenching encounter. Feeling all of our emotions is a great part of our aliveness, our humanness, and it allows us to accept them and to sort them out. I am grateful that we are multifaceted and resilient as spiritual human beings. No one else can do this for us. No one can say what it feels like to be alive as you, except for you, as you. Only you know your faith and your beliefs. Number 2, awareness. Do emotions color the truth? They certainly can. All of our emotions arise from the same heart. Our strong and mild emotions are attached to our belief system. Tears and laughter come from this same heart. Despite our efforts to be happy, not sad, calm, not agitated, we have emotions that run the gamut of humanness. We don't have to stay in bed pulling the covers over our head. That's not necessary. At the source of our heart, we can decipher truth as our truth, even when our emotions get in the way. We must be able to accept and to be discerning. We must be spiritual explorers. What really is the truth for each one of us? From a book called Halfway Up the Mountain by Martha Smock, who is one of the leaders in early unity. To realize the truth is to know ourselves as spiritual beings. It is to know ourselves as one with God. What we realize, we are. For realization is the awareness of the Christ, the true reality, the perfection that was and is and always shall be, that exists at the heart of it all. So what really is ours to do? Are our emotions coloring or changing our thoughts or actions? We're here to be awake and aware. Eckhart Tolle says, practice is just being aware. It is a primordial spiritual practice, and if it is your only practice, it is quite enough. I believe that is true. Practice is a great tool for a spiritual connection. What if we put ourselves into a state of awareness, a non-judgment opening of ourselves to just see what is? Awareness is another great tool for our spiritual toolbox. When I think of the realm beyond this earthly existence, it seems apparent to me that if we've not learned what we were supposed to learn while we were here, we may be learning a lot more of it before we go to the next unfolding in order to move forward. As I see it, our job here, our responsibility, is to be living fully aware, learning, loving, being kind, being generous with our time and our talent, and moving always towards a deeper spiritual connection. At this moment in the now, we are human beings, living lives that move us towards perfecting our practice of truth. Being in the now requires us to be alert and open to what is, and to not be overpowered by our thinking. I don't know about you, but sometimes I need help with that. That's a good reason to have a spiritual toolbox. Some of you may be familiar with Byron Katie. If you're not, she's a person that says, we can be miserable or we can be happy. Katie says all the suffering that goes on in our mind is not reality. It's just a story we torture ourselves with. Out of this insight, she developed a process or a tool called the work. This is a tool I keep in my toolbox. It's a simple solution to release those thoughts that make us suffer by writing them down, writing down what stresses us, and then discerning the truth about it. You ask yourself 4 simple questions. Is it true? This is a question that can change your life. Sometimes we think something's true and we don't really examine it. But be still and ask yourself if the thought you wrote down is really a true statement. Answer yes or no. So if you answered yes, then question number 2, can you absolutely know it's the truth? We're going to have to go deeper then to look beneath the answers that we think we know. Question 3, how do we react? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? You could feel anything from mild discomfort to pure on panic and fear. What are you feeling? And number 4, who would you be without that thought? What if you didn't believe that thought? Is life better with or without the thought? Just a simple, easy tool that can clarify anything. Number 3 is acceptance. Acceptance isn't about changing anything. It honors what is. We already know life is a mixture of all our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. We can be okay with how we're doing. We can love ourselves, knowing that life is not this or that, left or right. It's not one or the other. Our lives are a compilation of all our individual similarities and our differences. We speak our truth from that I am Christ consciousness within us. We are here to love and to open our hearts to others, to share our lives. And yet, during the pandemic, many folks realized that they really enjoyed being by themselves. I don't know if that happened to you. I know it to be true for me. I found out there were things that I could do that I didn't know that I would do on my own. Accepting who we are, just as we are, with all our eccentricities, is critical if we ever want to do this human thing well. We each have the power to be a force for good and are expressing our truth. We accept that some days we're going to have bad feelings. When our comfort level shifts, we can be ruffled, frazzled, and even feel some separation. It can take real determination to see things rightly and to move toward a reconnection. How can little things in our lives rock our boats? We all have our daily rituals. I love my coffee from my coffee pot, and yet I have friends that love their coffee from Starbucks. What if all of a sudden the things that we take for granted aren't possible? If we were on a vacation at a resort for a week, we could live without those little pleasures. But real life, taking sideways moves or detours, big or small, is not always so comfortable. We can use self-honesty with our feelings, and we don't have to wallow in bad feelings. It is healthy to have the feelings and then let go of any jealousy, anger, envy. Each day is a new day to shift to gratitude, to move to the higher plane, to go above the line, to know our truth. As human beings, we accept that we make mistakes that are below the line. We do have the responsibility, and we need to make changes and accept the consequences. We each bring our unique insights, and our emotions are what makes that happen. Feeling discomfort or stormy feelings will always be a part of life. If we face a hurricane, we want to move from the storm to the eye or the inner circle where there is peace and calm. All movement outside the center is fit with winds that are dangerous and destructive. In the same way, if we don't go within, our humanness will show up poorly, or even as dangerous or destructive. Being strong means to know when to go within. I have a story to tell on my husband, Bill. I was always a little envious of his ability to just let things go. He'd say, before he went to bed, he'd say, I'm giving this stuff to God because I know God will be awake all night. It'll be handled, and I'll pick it up again in the morning. That worked really well until one night a hurricane came across our house. He didn't sleep well that night. I, however, had listened to him, and he had said, let it go, and I did, and I slept. Who knows what works for us? We can be bruised and battered from a storm, and we can release the pain by stopping, taking a deep breath, and being in that silence where we can experience the calm, reconnection, and guidance needed. And just perhaps, we can let it go for a night and pick it up in the morning. Moving deeply through our feelings brings healing. We also are able to share ourselves more abundantly, learning to accept what is with life in general, to love life even when it's hard, and to be grateful when and if we don't know what's coming around the next corner, makes life much more manageable. There's an acceptance of what is happening around us, in and through us, and in the world beyond us. We are and we just be. What if accepting what is a call to action for us? To see what is and to put forth our personal effort to make things better, to see things different for those in need. I believe we can all see that. I certainly hope so. We individually may not be able to solve all the problems in the world, but there are things that all of us can do, and we know that through our truth. We all have the ability to hold out a hand, to be a beacon of light to someone's darkness, to be kind and caring in the face of suffering, and to be generous in the sharing of what we have. Life is an endless learning of how to maneuver through storms and calm, a journey that feeds us and grows us in spiritual movement. Each of us has actions that seem to bring our humanness closer to the spiritual, closer to the truth. When rocking a baby to sleep, watching a bird carefully build a nest, or sitting by the ocean, listening, seeing, and smelling the wonder, no validation is needed. There are things that whisper, speak, and shout spirit in all their power. The one power, every day, showing up as all the different life forms on this earth, in different bodysuits. To discern the God or spirit truth and grow it into it from the personal, we must have faith, awareness, and acceptance. Using these, we embrace change and we grow in spite of and through our emotions. Namaste. We're going to have our offertory, our love offering now, and I'd like to ask if there are any of you who are here for the first time. You are our guest. Please, you don't have to put anything into the love offering basket. So we're going to say this all together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And now let's say the next offering blessing together, and we are going to change the words just a little bit so that they include everyone. Divine love as us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And we are grateful. And now let's all stand at this time. Oh, excuse me. Hang on just a second. I apologize. Are there any guests with us today? I see a couple. Please raise your hand. Okay. Did you all get a welcome packet? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So let's stand now and we'll do our blessing and our peace song and our prayer for protection.
Bless you. We
Appreciate you. I'm so sorry.
We behold Christ as you.
So sorry.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment, peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it be. I am the light of God that surrounds us. I am the love of God that enfolds us. I am the power of God that protects us. I am the presence of God that watches over us. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.